Hello, chat. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Hope y'all are doing well. Hey, we are on the full screen today. We're gonna give this a go, and we're gonna see how it turns out. Because I think I switched it originally because I was like, we're kind of blocking some stuff in the game. But, you know, I figured let's give it another try to see if it's any better. The lighting might get a little funky because the sun is still out for whatever odd reason. Oh, I guess it's not that odd. It is a little bit earlier. And it's too hot for me to lower the shades. It's too warm. Anyway, happy Saturday, y'all. Hope y'all are doing well. Welcome on in back to the stream. Welcome to the cafe. Yeah, it's Ace Attorney Saturday. We are defending our dear friend Soseki Natsume, but first, I do believe we have one more escapade to do. Wait, what is the tailor? Iris's homemade suit. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my god, they're so cute. Only for use in the Great Ace Attorney 2? Chat, we're gonna try their different outfits for funsies. Alright, anyway, escapades. I think we got one more. Oh, I guess I am blocking some of the text a little bit. We'll see how bad it gets. It's not too bad right now. Alright, in the Bailey. This is the last escapade we have to read. This escapade takes place in the Old Bailey courtroom, where the defendant is none other than Sholmes himself. And the charge is a most mysterious murder? What? Yunosuke naturally advocates the defense against the unflappable Reaper, Lord Van Zeeks, but Sholmes' testimony calls the true culprit of the crime into question. What are we about to read here? And it's an escapade only, so it's about, what, 20 minutes of reading? Huh? Huh? Hold up. That side. I'm like trying to fix the damn green screen here. It's cause of the sun. Oh my god, that's a bit of sun. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Ignore it. Ignore it, y'all. Let me move myself over a little bit, though. There we go. This court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ooh. This is a most extraordinary case of murder. Counsels, I assume I may proceed? Yes, my lord. The defense is ready. At your discretion, my lord. Very well, I hereby call on the prosecution to introduce the case. The incident in question took place 2 days ago, late at night when the ground was blanketed with snow. The location of the incident was the residence of the accused, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Indeed. The now famous address of number 221B Baker Street, was it? The address may have enjoyed fame once, my lord, but will henceforth endure infamy for this grim crime. Yes, sir. Well put. A victim, a certain Madame Rosie, was found asphyxiated on the accused sofa. My word!
Objection!
But it's unclear as to whether the victim was actually killed in the defendant's suite or not. After all, when Mr. Sholmes left the room for only a brief moment, Madame Rosie somehow vanished herself out of his room completely. Vanished herself, counsel? The victim? Quite true, my lord. There's but one adjoining door between my drawing room and the kitchen. And having brewed some tea in the kitchen, I returned to find the room completely empty. Hold up, we might need a little warm up here for Sholmes. Was nobody else present? Sorry, hold on. I'm thinking. Make sure that I do this right. Okay. Oh, key into the Sholmes, Hildebrand, Bobby Fulbright voice. I always think of Bobby Fulbright going, "In justice we trust." That's how I key into it. Alright. Ordinarily, my fellow lodger Iris would have been at home. However, on the day in question, she had been invited to a meeting of a scientific society in the city. I'm afraid you have a propensity for exaggeration, sir. You claim the victim vanished herself, but really, seems to me entirely possible that she just chose to leave via the main entrance to your suite. As it happens, my lord, the door to the accused's room was locked at the time from the inside. Very true, Inspector. As such, I can say with considerable surety that the victim did not leave via my front door. But what about, yes, she could have snuck out through a window.
Objection!
The windows in the room were not locked, it's true, and the victim had the opportunity. However, there was snow all around the building outside, and not a patch of it had been disturbed. Would my learned friend care to explain how the victim could have left without leaving a trail? She flew, obviously, like we've had like we've had in our circus cases before. I'm kidding. So the victim, Madame Rosie, somehow vanished from the scene before she was killed. Naturally, I was alarmed by the sudden disappearance of my guest. So I summoned this gentleman who resides in the attic room above my own, and we took a cab to Scotland Yard. I can confirm that the defendant called for me and I saw his suite on my way downstairs. And yes, I'm quite sure it was empty, just as Mr. Sholmes had said. When we reached the yard, this very detective happened to be there. Yes, you see, I was just in my office for a while, haven't gotten back from some important business. And then, having explained the situation to the inspector, we traveled back to Baker Street together. At that time, there were no footprints in the snow around the building other than the ones we'd made. I take it then, counsel, that you personally witnessed the scene where the incident took place? Yup. My lord, I went straight up to bed in my own room in the attic. Inspector Gregson, however, was met with a most blood-curdling sight. On Mr. Sholmes' sofa, the vanished Madame Rosie, motionless. So the victim was already dead when you discovered her, Inspector? Oh, my lord, not dead, but not far from it. She mustered all her remaining strength to say these dying words. But Rotter, Sholmes, will be death of me. Ah, yes, I overheard that remark at the time, too. Delivered in a rasping voice full of malice. Ow! That's bad. Those words indeed proved to be her last. The victim expired moments later, there on the sofa. The cause of death was identified as damage to the respiratory tract as a result of strangulation. Okay, but we were, like, not there at the time. Pray, does the accused dare to contest the inspector's account? Certainly not. In fact, the inspector has done an unusually fine job of summarizing the salient points. Sholmes will be the death of me. Damning departing words indeed. In her final moments, the victim named her killer. You, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Objection!
No, that's not not exactly what she said, though. But the defendant had no reason to take the victim's life, and also that's not exactly what she said. She just said that, like, God damn it, like, being around this man is going to be the death of me. And then, like, you know, she died. And she died of strangulation, which I don't know how long it takes you to die of strangulation, but, like, we had time to, like, everyone else go, went downstairs, saw the room was empty, went with Sholmes out to Scotland Yard, picked up the inspector, went back. Sholmes and the inspector were there together that entire time. Sholmes was never alone since we went down. When did he have time to strangle this woman? How does that make any sense? And put her on the couch like that, you know what I mean? Perhaps you could tell the court, Mr. Sholmes, who exactly this Madame Rosie was? Like, I don't know. It seems fishy. We were out of the house. That was a perfect opportunity for someone else to just drop a dead body in there. Ah, yes, of course. Did I never mention her to you? I'd extended an invitation to her that evening, though she is loquacious in the extreme. The most trivial of matters quickly becomes a quarrel. I was only too pleased to leave her presence to make tea. Great. It would appear, then, that the accused did in fact have a motive for silencing his heuristic guest permanently. Now, he just said that she's annoying. That's not really a reason to kill somebody. Putting that tenuous motive aside, what about the other mysteries surrounding the case? I'm inclined to agree with the defense. There remain a number of inscrutable details. The victim's alleged disappearance and subsequent reappearance, leaving no trail of footprints, for example. That's right. The crime described by the prosecution could never have happened. Yet the victim named the accused in her dying breath. That's a stretch. It seems to me that my learned friend has overlooked a significant detail here. Nonsense! What have I overlooked? The man in the dock, so-called great detective, all too frequently makes the following bold claim. There is no crime beyond the realms of possibility, no mystery beyond my powers of reasoning. Are you just gonna take shit out of context, like, all the time? Because, I mean, I get that it's the olden days, but, like, man, that's dumb. So, Mr. Sholmes, you will have no difficulty in explaining how the crime thus described could have taken place. Therefore, I propose a toast to the great detective upholding his name. You don't want to challenge him on that. He'll do it. But of course, were I to put my mind to the matter, a crime would immediately appear to all present to be entirely feasible. Please, Mr. Sholmes, whose side are you on? Could you, like, maybe, like, not... actually, I guess you're gonna, like, unincriminate yourself, that's fine, but, you know. All you need to say is, no, even I can't think of a way that a crime like that could have been committed. No, they're challenging his detective skills. He can't let that get away. Okay, now to stretch a little. Let the accused's admission be noted by the court. Now, the crime may appear impossible to us mortals of inferior mental capacity. This man alone claims to know exactly how it was done. That's not what he said. Now, hold on. That's a very fragile argument. Thank you, counsels. I believe I've heard more than enough to proceed to my adjudication. The accused great detective did in some inscrutable manner willfully murder the victim, Madame Rosie. I therefore find the defendant let this man be taken from this courtroom and in some equally inscrutable manner be sanctioned for his crimes. Court is adjourned.
Hold it!
My lord, please. The truth about the mysteries surrounding this case are known to another besides the great detective. What's this? On my word, Mr. Nanhodo, you are coming along wonderfully. You've deduced a fundamental truth about this case, I believe. Which would be, detective, that the truth to this case is known only to the true culprit, obviously. Is that not so, Gregson? Wait, what? What? Well, I suppose, yes. You know, I mean, are you suggesting, Mr. Sholmes, that you have an idea as to what actually happened that night? An idea, my dear fellow? I can explain the entire incident from start to finish with not a single detail omitted.
Objection!
It seems the detective has failed to grasp the situation. Hey, Mr. Reaper, which of us has truly failed to grasp the situation, I wonder? Then answer me this. You claim that prior to the incident, the victim suddenly vanished without a trace from your room? If so, how exactly did Madame Rosie disappear? Why, naturally, via the window. It was ajar, after all. That can't be. The room's a whole story above street level, and anyway, no prints were found in the snow. There are any number of ways one could avoid leaving tracks in the snow, surely. Such as flying, for instance. I told you, we've been through this shit in previous Ace Attorney games. I'm like, someone's gonna claim that she flew, right? Like, even just offhandedly like this, but I'm not surprised. A fatuous notion. And where do you propose the victim flew, Mr. Sholmes? Is it not entirely plain? To the culprit's abode, of course. For having left my suite, that is clearly where Madame Rosie was murdered. Take a moment to consider the cruel irony, if you will. By her own volition, she flew directly to her death.
Objection!
Do you forget, detective? The victim's corpse was discovered on your own sofa. No doubt because her killer carried her back there. But what about the lack of footprints in the snow again, then? There just weren't any. Other than our own from when we returned home ourselves. If by our footprints you refer to your own and mine, you are quite right. But there were those of another. On the night in question, there was one other person who could have conveyed the victim to my sofa. What? Good gracious! To whom do you refer, sir? A man whose somewhat unavailing presence at the scene of the crime would be questioned by no one. Unavailing? You don't mean... Indeed I do. A man who hastened to the scene directly upon learning of the incident at Scotland Yard. Namely... you, Inspector Gregson. Ah! What did he do now? When you arrived at my address on Baker Street, you were carrying the half-dead Madame Rosie with you. You waited for a suitable opportunity and then laid the victim on my sofa. He did... what?
Objection!
But we were the inspector when he arrived. How could he possibly have been carrying the victim? Who would have noticed? My dear fellow, a most obvious answer presents itself, does it not? The inspector is rarely, if ever, without his overcoat. The victim was simply conveyed in one of its many pockets. Is Rosie not a human? God damn it. Why are we doing a trial for a non-human? Did anybody who fact-check this case? I fail to see what makes this detective great, but I can say one thing with great certainty. A human body cannot fit into the pocket of an overcoat. And here's where we find out that Rosie is potentially a bird. I believe you may all have fallen foul of a rather significant misapprehension. What? Madame Rosie was not human. I beg your pardon? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo? Something troubles you, perhaps? Whatever gives you that idea. Exactly what sort of creature was Madame Rosie? Is it not apparent already? A parakeet, of course. Ah! Most self-conceited specimen, in fact. A parakeet? She was an incessant talker, I must say. Her manner was quite intolerable at times. Want to turn every conversation to a quarrel? I thought to strangle the creature on more than one occasion. You had a quarrel with the parakeet. But of course, why else would she have chosen to fly from my window so uncordially that evening? To the abode of the inspector here beside me, no less. To Inspector Gregson's abode? But why? Because that was the parakeet's home, naturally. What are you? The inspector was called away from the town for some days, so it was arranged that I would look after the bird. But it would appear that she was overcome with a sudden yearning for her keeper, thus prompting her flight from my comfortable suite to the inspector's office at Scotland Yard. Well, Gregson, I believe it's high time you explained. Give us your account of what happened that night, sparing no details, of course. You two, why did you bring this to court, and why didn't you explain that earlier? God damn it, Gregson. Wasting everybody's time. Inspector Gregson? It was an accident. I got back from being away that evening, you see. I just walked through the door of my office. Never imagined Madame Rosie would be on her way back to the yard as well. Gotta stretch, hold on. Okay. I slammed the door shut behind me just as she was trying to fly through it. Hey, 21 Snakes! Yeah, no worries. Enjoy Pride Fest. Have fun. We'll catch you in the VoDs later. So, Madame Rosie... she got sandwiched between the door and the frame and fell to the floor. Never to move again. Because of me. Well, I never. I had to do something, and just when I was trying to think of a plan, you fellas arrived talking about some incident at Baker Street. Ah. I had to hide Madame Rosie in a hurry, so I stuffed her in my coat pocket and got in the cab with the pair of you. What could possibly have motivated you to behave in such a manner, Inspector? Lord Strongheart, sir. What? Lord Strongheart? Please tell me I didn't hear that right. It was the Lord Chief Justice who asked me to look after the bird in the first place. She'd been living with the pigeons at the Supreme Court until then. But apparently the other birds had started to pick on her. For the past 6 months or so, I'd been caring for her in my office at the yard. I see. Anything happened to that bird? Just imagine. No pay, no time off for the rest of my career. You mark my words, that's what was gonna happen. That's why well... The victim's dying words, Inspector. The court heard earlier that Madame Rosie spoke the name of her assailant on her deathbed. That rotter, Sholmes, the death of me. Is that just something that Gregson says a lot and the parakeet picked up? Because, you know, they parrot back things that you say a lot. Indeed she did. Quite uncalled for, wouldn't you agree? And those words are your true feelings, are they not, Inspector? Bah! Clearly you speak of me often at your office at the yard, in this disparaging manner. Manner that the merry parakeet took much delight in mimicking. Well, come on, I mean, have you read this month's edition of Monster Magazine? I'm... Sorry! This is all absolutely true. You'll need to fact check your shit before you admit cases into court. Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks? No. Nothing. I almost drifted off for a moment there. Hard not to drift off when you've been kept waiting 3 hours already. Wonder if we'll manage to meet with Lord Strongheart at all today. May have to deliver the report on the Windibank case that he asked for on another day. Why is he doing the vampire thing with his cape? Just kind of playing into it a lot. Tell me, Inspector, what became of that bird? Ah, Madame Rosie, you mean? She had a narrow escape, but she's still alive. I delivered her back here not long ago, actually, on Lord Strongheart's orders. He's hoping the pigeons will accept her now. Something of a shock to hear that she'd been crushed in the doorway of your office. Especially as we were all under the misapprehension that Madame Rosie was a person. Sorry about that. It was Lord Strongheart's demand that... Good, you're here. I apologize for my tardiness. I'm exactly 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 57 seconds late. Oh, no, my lord. No, please don't trouble yourself. Nothing gives us greater pleasure than standing here doing nothing for hours on end. Heartening. So, let's hear it then. Your report. The Windibank trial is concluded. This is far from over. It seems that dark Far Eastern lawyer and I have some shared destiny. We'll meet again. Of that I have no doubt. You see that, Lord Van Zeeks, did you? Madame Rosie went flying off among the pigeons there. Happy as Larry she was. Who's Larry? I know Larry Butts. I don't know if you know a Larry and... I don't... You know what? Not gonna think about it. Really, Inspector? Must be relieved. Of course, the one time Sholmes gets convicted of a crime and we have to go to court is for a bird. Of course. Hey! We got an achievement for completing all the escapades. Alright. But it is time for us to continue our memoirs of the Clouded Kokodo, in which we, for some reason, are defending Soseki Natsume again for the second time in England. So yeah, there we go. We got an achievement for playing the game in all of the new outfits. 22nd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. That's my line! I knew it, Saseki. Good morning! Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove you didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole! Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. She's so cute! The Iris Maid outfits are adorable. So glad that we found them by chance and turned them on. And we got an achievement out of it, so that's very cool. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh! Oh my god, she's so cute. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So, here we are again. Yes, again. Sorry, my trapezius is like very stiff right now. Judicial assistant must be cooked over, Esquires. What's the bad news? Oh dear. You heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I'm sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mrs. Sato. Now, what is it? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Baron Van Zieks. Van Zieks? Again? Why are we not surprised? It's only ever Van Zieks. Oh no. Oh no, no. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey. Most legendary prosecutor in the land. The trial 2 days ago, he pursued Saseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth. We managed to pull through, but still. Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter. After all... Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says... Nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Van Zieks is the prosecutor. Oh, no. That even if the person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another. And we've experienced it firsthand. Alright, sorry, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can fix this. This is driving me nuts. That's okay enough for now. That'll do. Maybe not. Live trying to fix shit. Don't worry about it. Can't do anything about it. Sun's being kind of a jerk. It's fine. We'll leave it. It's fine. And we've experienced it firsthand. Whoa, that is weird. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna undo what we just did. That was too much. Okay. A man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits, and now by the Reaper! Pair of petrifying perils, potentially! Well, if it's potentially... At least you at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go. Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid I won't be able to make it. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. That's probably for the best. Oh! If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that can be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Zeeks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least that's my gut feeling. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. Yes, you're so right. How well said, locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. Swear on the sword at my side, and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free with honor. Oh, yes! February, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Ah, you look so good! Look at that dashing young man and this... What is this cute little thing on his shoulder? That's adorable. I love it. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my lord and Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. Don't be rude! Making assumptions, this man. The audacity! It's not just my imagination. It's really there. Lord Van Zeeks has an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom. Though, for some reason, only when I'm defending. Which is weird and also rude. Stretching. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Also, very racist. Sorry, I'm gonna make adjustments again. It's... seems okay at first, but then, like, it's just kind of not. That's a little better. Okay. Woosa. Woosa. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Furthermore... Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. I hope that wasn't too loud. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury You have been chosen at random to present the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? Was this really at random? This is the same ass person who's been here before. Absolutely. I had a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is very fetching, actually. How many people live in London? How is this random? Oh, she's new. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight or the missus will go through the roof. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. Six citizens of London chosen at random, or at least that's the idea. I have my doubts. The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today. That explains a lot. That in fact does explain quite a bit. I'm like, what do you mean random? Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zeeks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. You are just being fucking racist, my asshole dude. Rude. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetuate a most blood-curdling crime. Namely, that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. What was his name again? Oh yeah, wait, let's read these really quick. How about that? Sasata Mikotoba, judicial assistant sent to Britain on study tour, epitome of a refined Japanese lady and a huge help to me always. Iris Wilson is an extraordinary young girl who lives with Mr. Sholmes. She has a degree in medicine and is the author of a popular series of short stories published in a prominent magazine. Sherlock Sholmes, there's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective whose deductions never fail to surprise. That's a description. I do agree that is a description. Olive Green, an art student whose ambition is to become an artist. She just regained consciousness after having been comatose for days after suffering a stab wound to the back. Stretching. Sasaki Natsume and our defendant, a Japanese scholar sent to London to further his research into the English language. He's just been acquitted of a very serious crime, but now finds himself accused of another. Tobias Gregson, the detective inspector in charge of Scotland Yard's investigation of the case. He's stern and single-minded on his approach and a great lover of fish and chips. Same. On the fish and chips, rather. William Shamspeare, that's his last name. I was like, it's William something, referencing Shakespeare. Shamspeare, there you go. The victim of the current case failed after renting a room in the same building as Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Don Gaudideb, a retired army man who is the landlord of the lodgings rented by Mr. Natsume. An old knee injury means he's confined to a chair most of the time. And Baron Van Zeeks, the prosecutor known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Supposedly the souls of those he prosecutes are eternally damned, one way or another. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand. A detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. That was a very nice flourish, by the way, for his intro. Witnesses, your names and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Miles Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Sasaki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume? Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday. The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Guardian household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, the defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shakespeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine. What's that? Was found the following morning where the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident? Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, lives to tell tale, he very nearly did it. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Yet none of you checked for a pulse to make sure that this dude was okay or not. Why? Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Crime scene photo, a photographic print of the scene taken by police upon their arrival. The victim can be seen unconscious at the table, having been poisoned. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes! As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? They're haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. A tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned, and me! What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times. Killed, Mr. Natsume? How? Even on that fateful night, it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shakespeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and Somebody tried to kill me! Must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My runny nose would freeze. Point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? Thank you, witness. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of the events. If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point. Conclusive? Go on! Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Good grief! I knew it was gonna come to this. Order! Order! Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspear's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again! Never! The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before. That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection? None whatsoever, my lord. Good. Then you will give your account of events on the night in question to the court now. Yes! My lord! Sorry, I closed my eyes and I didn't see that part. A catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. My tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. Victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands. Okay, but did Soseki-san not also drink the same tea? So how do you know it was in the tea and not the tea cup? Whose tea set was that? Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think.
Oh, we got ads soon. We'll pause soon. Don't worry.
Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they?
Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. I haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance. How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponi's friend is falsely incensed. What do you mean falsely? Okay, hold up. I think we need to pause here because the ads are going to start soon, so... Quick break. I'm going to stretch really quick and then we will continue shortly. All right, hold on. Be right back. Be right back. Cheerio, Scout. Hope you're settling into your solo camping adventure. Don't be disheartened if you can't find a needy ghost immediately. I intentionally picked a safe island that's not too haunted. When you finally find a ghost, try to help it make peace with itself, and when you do it, you'll finally graduate to 2nd degree. Signed, Scoutmaster Blake. Yes, I'll write to you every day, unless I get busy. 1 common log cabin, large potted plant. Okay. Sir? Scoutmaster Blake. Hi. Hi. Hello. Parfait here. You certainly did not send me to a relatively unhaunted island where I might take me a little bit to find a ghost friend. You, in fact, sent me to a very haunted island of bears. Sir? One that curses people and traps them here. So thanks for that. Is there no formal job training? Do they just throw you into the fire and expect you to swim? No, wait, hold on. Throw you into the ocean and expect you to swim? Sorry, got my things mixed up there. Yes, what is it?
I believe we have found the man to whom the package was intended.
Look, you can swim in fire if you believe. Rude! Ah! I won't be able to spot a squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Running for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Blanc, can you tell me what the contents of these boxes is? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. Here it says... Despair, funny key, scissors, leaf, eyeball, Kamehameha! It is cloth in English. There's lots of fragrant magic water. I mean soap. See you tonight. What? Did you guys see that in the mirror?
Perpetual way, Ray?
Wait.
No way.
Perpetual way.
Perpetual way.
No way.
What?
Alright, go ahead and get blasted. Leave while we're in the center.
What are we doing?
How do I leave group?
Why is this happening?
Dawn.
Oh,
Dawn.
Please grab the watch, please.
This is a bannable offense. To my ears.
a cat.
Alright, burning down Brawler. Dude, well, not burning, we're tickling him. Okay, warp time.
High and low.
Top. Okay.
And balloon! There you have it, a stunning balloon hat! It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gay Tornado! Just call me Gadu, sweetie. 1, 2,
Alright, we're back, chat. We're back. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Took some stuff for my own back, and then yeah, we're ready to go. I refilled my tea. We're good to go. We're good to go and continue our trial here. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? I'd stumbled enough, there was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. Oh. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. Lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. I see. Thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. I can't let them beat me down. I won't. Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Alright, the catastrophic night. Here we go. Around 9 o'clock, he took some tea. Were you and your neighbor good friends then? No! We weren't friends. Not at all. Not at all. Never. Ever. A simple no would have sufficed. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shamspeare fancies himself as having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Come now, no Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature. Why are you so fucking racist, you asshole? And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume. It was the day of my last trial when I was acquitted. I just arrived back at my lodgings when I ran into Mr. Shamspeare outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, though. So I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate. But did I have ill intentions? No! Not one! Not 2! Not any! Not at all! Never! Ever!
A simple no would have sufficed, I feel.
Tell the court what happened when you visited the victim's room. Heated debate, a hot drink, went back to his room. Hold it! A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you? Shakespeare? A very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley. Romeo and Juliet? Who was stronger? I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out, in Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Huh? Mr. Shamspeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for such a contest. So when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? He as Romeo and I as Juliet. And after a vigorous, wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top! A victory I'll cherish forever! I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? Okay, but tell me more about this poison and how it is absorbed. Because if it could also be absorbed through like the skin, through touch, why not in the soap? Right? Why not the soap? It does have that weird dent thing in it. I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room.
wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion?
I mean, maybe don't act shifty.
My tea was harmless! Of course it was!
And do you have any basis for that statement, witness? Oh. Gonna lock the door behind him. Yes, there's not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fella had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say that you returned to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume?
Yes, definitely. By heaven and earth, I swear it.
The landlord was able to verify that as it happens. Confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. And how was the landlord able to attest to this? He, said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector? When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker.
Yes, Mr. Goddydump seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants. There's only one key to Mr. Shamspeare's room. I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room.
Victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes.
So I'm right! My tea was harmless! Completely harmless! If you take poison, you die! Everyone knows that!
Not that simple, I'm afraid.
What do you mean?
Strychnine.
Hold it!
How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison's consumed. And the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure.
Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful.
30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. Can't deny that. And it further degrades Suzuki-san's alibi. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. Spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well, the court will add this report to the court record as evidence. Victim's medical report, a report issued by Scotland Yard's medical officer. It obviously mentions the poison as well as other details gleaned during the police investigation, which I'm sure something here got overlooked, and we're gonna look at it now.
Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms. Bum 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 bum.
Victim William Shamspeare, cause of coma, ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. The poisoning incident occurs at around 1:30 a.m. on 21st of February. Assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. Hold on! But we've confirmed that Soseki-san left at 11, and you're saying that he was poisoned around 1:30 a.m. That is well after Soseki-san left. Unless he left some of the tea. No, I mean, no. Yeah. No, this should be fine. No container for the poison was found at the scene. Alright, should have been able to lock the door. The argument still stands, you say? This is what Mr. Notham has been saying, isn't it? A pair of them drank tea together that night, so if there was poison in it, the victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on.
Exactly! Me and my tea are innocent, sweet, and innocent, I tell you!
I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. See, strychnine is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. So you could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. As long as you did that, Mr. Shamspeare could have locked the door after you'd gone.
But no! We drank the tea straight away. The battle over whether Romeo or Juliet was stronger, that came after the tea.
Do you have any evidence to support that statement?
In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying. Drink tea while it's hot!
Sure, a proverb will satisfy the prosecution. I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there are sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in this matter.
No!
That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo.
Of course, go ahead.
Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence so adamantly and so persistently. Yet Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating.
I agree. So we need to find an inconsistency in what the inspector is saying, I think.
I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty.
As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison in the tea. Let's listen carefully to this testimony again.
Yes.
You just gave me the evidence I need, though. Alright, 9 o'clock. He was completely harmless. The argument still stands. Okay, so what we need to debate here is that, like... It's true they don't keel over immediately, but he left at 11 and the poisoning happened at 1:30. That's the issue here at the time. Ugh. I don't know what statement to do it on, though. Alright. These are both technically true, but I want to make the argument of the time. I don't think the argument should still stand. That part is what we should question, I think. Alright, let's try it. Objection! The argument still stands, you say? I think not, Inspector. Come again? I think you'll find that you've overlooked a very significant chronological inconsistency here. A what? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Ah. Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. No. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Ah! Defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zeeks? Alright, what stretch of the imagination are you gonna take now? Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? What? How many of those things do you have? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report? Yes, at around 1:30.
Objection.
But they had tea together. Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there's a well-known saying. Drink tea while it's hot. Why are we saying this again? We just went over the fact that that's not gonna... Hold up. Okay.
Objection.
And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. There's nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there was such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities! What sort of possibilities, Counsel? The soap! The soap! Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor? It's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition? You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel?
Objection.
Mr. Shamspear has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection.
Baby slaps. But he could be lying.
Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Out! Out! Brief candle! Lies but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Hold up. Hold up. I need more space to be dramatic. This way? This way. Okay. That's too much space. I'll get this right. Give me a second. Give me a hot second. Okay. And we'll do a little more that way. Okay, that's good. This'll work. This'll work. It is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? This damn sunbeam on my green screen is like throwing everything off.
William Shamspear, my lord, alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim.
What? What's he doing here? Prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request, but with interest. With interest, sorry. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. Happy am I, Shamspear, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. But I still have my own tale to tell, my own tale of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. That'll do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim. Alright, so that's Mr. Shamspear. But who's this other man beside him? Oh, that's the shady character who's outside the window and probably the culprit.
Yes, I feel sure that we've caught a glimpse of that man before.
State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses.
A height of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventive idea so profound they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. Were the great bard to be recalled to life anew, lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shamspear.
Name's Meterman. Adrian B. Meterman. I work for the Altamont Gas Company, East End branch office.
Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road.
Oh yeah, she's right, it's him. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? Looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings. Something
wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
Excuse me, could we have a word? Ah! Looks like a busy bee. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Gardeb's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shamspear, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh, heaven, oh, hell, do you command me to remember that sweet poison that did cross me and cross mine innocent lips?
I subpoenaed him for the trial. His doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Was that a magical sound I just heard? What the f—
Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me's a seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be I, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be.
Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all.
The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid.
They're actually taking this serif anagram idea seriously? Oh my god. Thank you, witness, for illuminating your introductions. But my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shamspear doing here? The gas man. I mean... What? Me? Well now? Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence when he suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. And moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman? Hang on, no. I'm just here. I hereby call for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of what that wintry night of my discontent.
The wintry night of my discontent. I went there.
The snow lay about, my neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But marry, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, naught else.
I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Eastern fella. How do you know? Oh wait, we know the bricks can be removed, so use a peepin'. But why were you use a peepin'? Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamspear's room all night? That's right. Of course, the bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? There's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. Question is, sir, why? Ah, well now, that's because he's on my list.
What a piece of work is a man! Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment?
What are you talking about?
This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed. Make no more ado about his tedious words.
What'd you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And as testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. There was snow. His neighbor came over with tea. Oh shit. Nope, that was not pressed. That was the wrong button. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold. Hold, pause, pause fish. There we go. To be clear, by neighbor you are referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume?
Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs.
And what time did the mustache Nipponese visit you in your room?
Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo, did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea.
Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes?
And we were boiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before.
By which I presume he means...
The discussion was about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet? I am Shakespeare, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be, to bring weight upon our merry experiment.
I dare not imagine the scene.
Frailty, thy name is woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of Jiu-Jitsu, but ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden.
Juliet beat Romeo up? That's not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room?
My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding.
And the tea was bitter.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Knotsman left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse? That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're gonna have to explain.
Gladly, 'tis an easy task.
What is he doing? We wiggling here? Are we all just wiggling? Are we wigglers today? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. What? Excuse me?
I did drink of the tea, not while my guest is tarry, but after he,
Sorry, hold on. Which way is it going? Like this? Outward, outward.
but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily were my lips parched.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal?
Nay, 'tis quite ordinarily, sire, after all. Thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument there'd be no time for fiery tea.
Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? And who was stronger? Mr. Shakespeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker?
But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stupid lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil.
We all know what that means. The only thing he had was tea.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal, dinner, supper?
Fie on luxury, fie on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time.
Sorry?
I would that my belly were full, no more oft than the sun doth rise.
I'm not jumping like that. His camera's not gonna catch it. No, we ain't doing this. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say.
Night and day do I fill my hours with the learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is it that there doth not in my chamber be then the costumes of mine art.
That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Damn.
Now that I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single-player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all.
You ate the scripts because you were so hungry that you had no other food. You've eaten them?
Every word be within my skull. Dost thou imagine otherwise?
Right. That wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed through the victim's lips is the tea. He was outside in the freezing cold, all night keeping an eye on his room for some strange, odd reason that I still don't fully understand. But the windows of that house have all been filled in.
A historical artifact of the now defunct window
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right there, all bricked up horribly. As it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking through that gap.
Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there?
And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well.
I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. And them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body.
Okay, but what orders were you given that you were spying on people all night? That's weird. What's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all?
No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time, as far as I'm concerned.
And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be sure of that? The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room and hence didn't dispose of the poison container himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Ah, yes, lucidly explained, Counsel. Thank you. It really was. You can't argue with the logic. Did we check the soap, though? I mean, that soap was really suspicious. No one else visited the room.
Hold it!
You say a short little round-backed Eastern fella, so you can't be sure it was the defendant then?
Objection!
How many other short little round-backed Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are here in London?
Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself.
And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspear drink tea together?
Nah, sorry. Couldn't say.
Why not?
Cause I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was the silhouette of that little round-backed fellow wearing a pretty dress. And the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it.
I suppose. That was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question?
Oh, question. Gasman's honor.
I still don't understand why the gasman was there. Someone's saying hold it! Ooh, why you? What? Huh? My lord! Goodness me, yes, Mr. Foreman. I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me? Yes! We don't understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another. That you've reached a unanimous decision, and then we're just gonna do the summation examination. Okay. Too right we have. Are you all with me? Yes! Wait, no! The defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. God damn it. Be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it.
In the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see.
And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Like I was saying before, if I don't take a 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. Huh? What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well, let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Yeah, we saw that coming. They always do that. Then we gotta do the summation thing. All of you? Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. You know what's coming though, right? Y'all know. They know. They know. They know I'm gonna question them. So, this time at least it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Ugh. Ah!
Get up, Mr. Naruhodo, please. This trial isn't over yet.
What do you mean, Mrs. Sato? Summation examination, come on.
What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? The obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations, remember?
A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in British Court of Law, if we can reverse the decisions of a majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. Oh my god, look at this! He's got his own little suit! That's cute, man. That's freaking adorable. I love this. Good job, Iris. This trial can't end now. Adjusting the armband that is no longer there. That's funny. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised? I might learn in Nipponi's friends an ability to admit defeat. You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend, instead of accepting the truth. Okay, but by now, how many times have I been right when we done this? Like, come on, work with me here. Stop being racist. Certainly no other defense counselor in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination. Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Well, they're just being lazy, dumb, I don't know, whatever. But, like, we're gonna get our client off the hook, so deal with it. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with the summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. Look forward to dueling with you, sir. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. He's not a noble. The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. With a name like Shamspur, yes, of course. Been duped, sir.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
Not you too, juror number 3.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman, for now at least.
Oh, I really don't care, like. I just needed this trial to end quickly.
No reason to lie. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. This man's a surgeon, though. Just a little scary. Sorry, I'm like watching the sunspot move. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced.
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspur is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements.
Sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
You do look shifty, though. Sadly. Sadly! I respect the man, but... shifty looking. I get where they're coming from, is all I'm saying. Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Saseki-san's behalf before, and it worked. So you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, please don't.
Well, you're still very new to British law, after all.
That's true, I suppose, and Saseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. No, we good. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again, or not bother? No need. I'm good. This was not that long ago. We're good. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Sato. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary.
Of course, I understand. I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be here for you.
The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Finding two that are contradictory and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. Jury examination. There's 2 shifty people behind me, but damn, we look good. Look at the mouse! Look how damn cute this little mouse is. So adorable. The defense is rebuttal. He's a noble man, he says. Okay. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Notsum is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed over the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take that gasman's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. Ah, well, that's alarmingly logical. Let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen of the jury would do the same. Isn't that right? Well, yes, perhaps, though I don't see it happening.
What's that? Headily gent on the end here, you know? You'll have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial to be over.
How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir, I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Huh. Show him that the victim's a liar, he'll reconsider his position. No reason to lie. Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously, it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much. And then juror number 3 being super racist. No, not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty.
And he is fishy. There's no point dancing around that fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. See, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance.
You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt.
But the victim's version of events is backed up by what that big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh. That's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it?
Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more. Hold up. Has a mustache? Having a mustache makes you guilty and a liar. I don't think juror number 1's gonna like that. We'll deal with that later. Ad's coming up soon though, so I think before we continue, we'll do the ad break, and then I can get up and stretch a little bit and check on the cats, because I think they just ate, maybe? Alright, so BRB.
Hope you're settling into your solo camping adventure. Don't be disheartened if you can't find a needy ghost immediately. I intentionally picked a safe island that's not too haunted. When you finally find a ghost, try to help it make peace with itself, and when you do it, you'll finally graduate to 2nd degree. Signed, Scoutmaster Blake. P.S. I'll write to you every day, unless I get busy. 1 common log cabin, large potted plant. Okay. Sir? Scoutmaster Blake. Hi. Hello. Parfait here. You certainly did not send me to a relatively unhaunted island where I might take me a little bit to find a ghost friend. You, in fact, sent me to a very haunted island of bears. Sir? One that curses people and traps them here. So thanks for that.
Is there no formal job training? Do they just throw you into the fire and expect you to swim? No, wait, hold on. Throw you into the ocean and expect you to swim? Sorry, got my things mixed up there. Yes, what is it?
I believe we have found the man to whom the package was intended.
Look, you can swim in fire if you believe. Rude! Ah! I won't be able to spot a squat like this.
What the heck's going on around here? Running for the hills!
No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Blanc, can you tell me what the contents of these boxes is? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. Here it says... Despair, funny key, scissors, leaf, eyeball, Kamehameha! It is cloth in English. There's lots of fragrant magic water. I mean soap. See you tonight. What? Did you guys see that in the mirror?
Perpetual way, Ray?
Wait.
No way!
Perpetual way.
Perpetual way.
No way!
What?
Alright, go ahead and get blasted. Leave while we're in the center.
What are we doing?
How do I leave group?
Why is this happening?
Dawn.
Oh,
Dawn.
Please grab the watch, please.
This is a bannable offense. To my ears.
a cat.
Alright, we're burning down Brawler. Dude, well, not burning, we're taking again. Okay, warp time.
High and low.
Top. Okay.
And balloon! There you have it, a stunning balloon hat! It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gay Tornado! Just call me Gaylu, sweetie. 1, 2, balloon!
This is exactly Dr. Lupin's type of character. What a way to capture your audience's attention! I dare say I can't take my eyes off those balloons. Judge? Can we talk about which balloons you're referring to? Alrighty, chat, I'm back. Sorry about the wait. That was a little bit longer than intended. Where is the game volume? Oh, that's the wrong screen. Hold on. Whoa. There we go. That's the one we're using. I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Ooh. It is now getting darker, so we gotta do some lighting adjustment. Whoa. That one? Hold on. I got this. Hey, 21 Snakes, welcome on back. How's your Pride Fest? It was fun. We are in the middle of a summation examination here. It was so fun. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, so summation examination for Soseki. Of course, they all think he's guilty. Juror number 3 being rude. And Van Zeek's also being super rude. Alright, anyway, so we're here on... You're there for 7 hours? Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Do you need... Take a break if you need to, you know? Get some water, get some food. Do what you gotta do, you know? I'm glad it was fun. It's always good to hear. Sounds like it was a very successful event. Let's see. About all these jurors, they think William Shamspeare, what a name, the name of Ceres apparently, is the most upstanding citizen. Which is wrong. You're just relaxing? Good, I'm glad. I'm glad you came here to relax too. Glad we could be of help here. But yeah, so we gotta convince all these jurors that William Shamspeare is a lying fraud. That's where we are right now. Alright, so let me make sure I'm on... Oop, that's not the right thing. There we go. Now it'll work.
Hold it!
A fraudsman! I know, Shamspeare is just such a noble name, so it's like, why would you ever doubt the man? What do you mean by that, madam? It really is a most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. That is a thing. Yes. I'm sorry, you lost me a little there. Who are you? Sorry, I'm checking one thing. Okay. I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quenby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course.
This guy looks like a bee.
I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamspeare was up to in his room?
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of East End will go to in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman.
So you were watching Shamspeare because he's a possible fraudsman! Ooh!
But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night, we're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean Mr. Shamspeare is...
I wouldn't come out and say it in public, but you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief.
She also looks like a bee. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen.
Wait, what? Hold on. What? Wait, I feel like the ends of those statements got flipped. Sir?
Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin? But Ceres hear not insults, only choirs of angels in song.
He's a little confused, but he got the spirit. I guess that's true. He does have spirit. He's very animated.
We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate gas explosion.
So, Mr. Shamspeare has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
I mean, a little before that part about abject violence if it's not too much trouble. Not that that wasn't fun to listen to you threaten somebody in court, scary lady, but that's not the part we're immediately concerned with right now.
Yes, of course.
This could be it. This could shift the balance. We're still gonna question the other two, though. Let's press this one again, because it's funny.
The victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality, he's a common thief. My company's gas.
That's a bold claim. How can you be so sure?
It's really very simple. Noble lady of gas, I pray thee, hold thy tongue. I beg your pardon. Hath that rank odoured air that doth our darkness illuminate any place in this assembly? Nay, 'tis of sole import here that someone would distinguish the light of mine own life. Verily, I ne'er recall stealing thy gas, but pray let the matter rest till anon. Why, you little...
Begging your pardon, my lady, but might I suggest you don't say any more at this stage? We need hard evidence first. If I keep secretly watching this bloke, I'll get him in the end. He'll slip up.
You think maybe that secret's out of the bag?
Oh, this is so frustrating.
And this dude is just like, look, I just want this trial to end. I don't give a shit. And it's like, you're so irresponsible.
Hold it!
What if it were you? You keep talking about needing to take home some money. What's that all about, sir?
Finish last, that's what it's about.
What's that?
Talking about the derby at Hyde Park, aren't I? It was the Queen's Cup last week, wasn't it?
A derby?
Was a dead cert, that's the thing. Couldn't lose, so I took my own secret savings, like. But then, that hopeless old mare went and did the unthinkable. Ah, that stupid finished lass.
Oh dear, I think it's clear what happened, isn't it?
This is the day the missus uses her savings for a trip down the pub. Come on, let this business lie now. Just give up.
No, that's not gonna happen. You're irresponsible. And he's just being an old man. What do you really mean by that, sir? Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do. At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you? Huh? What's that now? I said you're an early riser! Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on.
He sleeps at least 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he has only 3 hours of sleep each night.
Huh? What's that, dear?
Only 3 hours of sleep each night.
That's right. You see, 3 hours of missing time, like I said. It's not much, is it? This is really not helping.
The key to summation examinations is identifying contradictions between jurors' statements, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, and once I found 2 jurors whose statements can't coexist, I need to pit those jurors against each other. Then hopefully when they see that what they're saying doesn't make sense, they'll change their leaning.
Yes, and if you're able to change the minds of a majority of the jurors, the trial will continue. But conversely, if you are unable to do that, the judge will declare the trial over and move to adjudication.
And I can't let that happen. Somehow or other, I have to turn this trial around. Alright. Show him that the victim is a liar. We're gonna put you against juror number 4 because she's saying he is a crook. The common thief. Alright, you two. Have at it. Those 2 statements clearly contradict with each other. Good gracious! Whose statements do you prefer, counsel? Juror number 1.
What? What are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas.
Well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, we don't have evidence as such just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me, seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor.
Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word? If I could show that Mr. Shamspear was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. As a man of honor, I'll hold to it, as I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying, as always. So if that means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground.
Oh, no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shamspear, that is your real name. We of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are. Get screwed, juror number 5. That's 4 jurors! 4 not guilty!
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, victory!
I changed them to the Iris Maid costumes and they're so cute. Order! Order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord and order the trial to continue. Just waiting for him to crush that poor glass. You spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shamspear. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul.
Oi, what did you say?
I take it, Mr. Shamspear, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery?
Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot? I am as a seraph, an angel. Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart.
You flowery mouth pompous beanpole, just cause I haven't gotten the evidence yet.
Mr. Shamspear! If in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time, no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on this case.
Oh no.
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas and this case are unrelated. Juror number 4.
Yes.
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we, worker?
Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gasman's honor.
Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord, it'll be my pleasure. The ultimate gas...
I didn't finish reading that, hold up.
The ultimate gas name, I swear.
If I may, my lord.
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, yeah, sweet as honey. Yeah.
You're a little overexcited for this. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
Yeah, wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting you, mark my words.
They have this whole bee thing going on, and it's kind of cute. So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Ultimate Gas Company's fuel.
Yes, is that clear, my good man?
Clear as ultimate gas, my lady, which is the clearest in the world.
He's so respectful. I thought he was a murderer, but now I'm doubtful. I think Shamsphere just did something real stupid, probably. You think the gas has gone to his head, Mrs. Sato?
I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.
Witness testimony! It's the bees! The Ultimate Gas Company's investigation.
I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Ultimate gas meters accept weaponsy bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Are you doing the coin on a string thing? Because that's kind of rude.
The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Or somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not even what is.
True. Oh. I'm like, why did my camera move? And then I'm like looking in the curtain, just like touched the back of the wire, which is concerning. Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks? Did the mustache Nipponese poison the gangly excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Hey! Trying to figure out if one of the key witnesses of the case is trustworthy or not is very important. Because it tells us whether or not we should throw out his testimony and, you know, if we should be pursuing other possibilities. Waste of a glass and waste of wine. So rude. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Do what you will.
Lord Van Zeeks appears to be in a violent mood.
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. It's really cool how the effect of them, like, crossing and the cross-examination is like swords, so it's like they're dueling. It's pretty neat. Anyway. Alright, he's a proud employee.
Hold it!
So, does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? And I do! I have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsuma's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspear? Well, now interesting you should bring that up. Of course, I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winters beyond me, it really is.
Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books.
And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. I don't know if he burns them, because there's a ton of books in his room. You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman.
Not much to say, really, but as you wish.
They accept threepenny bits.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
They're the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes.
So if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night?
A bit more than that, usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is.
Thinking about it, Saseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he?
Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas or heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins.
I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part.
Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean?
Yes, exactly right.
Her little bee umbrella is really cute. And yet, Mr. Shamspear doesn't have any in there. But they definitely used his gas to heat up the tea. Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
Weeks and weeks! He's been pinching gas off us for ages!
And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room, I take it?
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume.
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced.
Hold on, I have an idea that I just thought of. Does he press his 3-pence into these soap bars to get them to be able to be slid out of the meter? Is that how he's scamming the gas company?
one with an indestructible lock. The Sham Spear Special.
That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3 pence pieces.
But even after all that rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation. I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said, you what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jimmied open anywhere. Not a single sign. What's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day. That's what.
A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I've still got it.
Oh.
Can I look at it? Right here.
No wonder they call you Meterman. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Gas meter, a meter that dispenses gas for a set time after a coin is inserted. It sports a very strong lock developed especially with Mr. Shamspear in mind. Definitely. Alright, let's look at it. That's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax too.
So if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would do.
You know, you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Oh! What's this little hole? Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here. There's a little hole. Do you see it?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspear?
Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it.
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there.
That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
It's a tiny hole in its base. Alright, well, we got our info out of that. Although, at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. But I would say it has much value as the contents of that meter. Ugh. Doesn't appear to have been tampered with. Did you look at the bottom? Did you look? Did you really look? There's only one key for all of your meters?
Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. But even if someone had somehow managed to get a hold of a key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened.
Oh? How?
I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens.
Would you care to explain?
Well, now, in order to attempt a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. When I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see?
A seal? Like the sort of thing you'd put in an envelope, you mean?
Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal.
Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspear's meter, there were no coins inside at all, as I said.
But the seal hadn't been broken either.
So that would mean Mr. Shamspear somehow managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it? What? Look at him, he's so confused.
It would seem so, but that would be impossible.
He's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny.
Hold it!
How do you know that he's been using gas, though? Well, now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. On every single occasion, his lamps have been blazing and his stove pounding. It's the middle of winter and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says, "Get thee to a nunnery." Hamlet indeed. I could wring the bloke's neck. I get all hot under the collar, but still, every time I open up that flaming meter, it's empty. He's robbing me of my salary too. What's wrong with the world? Where's the justice? But how can Mr. Shamster possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. Simple explanation is right before your eyes. What? A toast to you eventually realizing that the gasman could be an accomplice. How dare you accuse this poor bee-man of being an accomplice with Mr. Shamspear of all people? He is a loyal worker bee. Yeah, what? Good lord, eminently plausible indeed.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, please, Lady Quinby. Oh, Quinby like Queen Bee. I get it. Lady Queen Bee. Thank you, Capcom. I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money his gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas has been used, you dog are paid by the same amount. So you'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly that makes no sense.
Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war?
No, I'm not gonna stir up that hornet's nest. If I went to stealing from the company, I'd be finished. It would seem there is no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim. Because Mr. William Shamspear is innocent. No, he's not. Pray forgive me if that shatters some illusion my learned Nipponese friend was clearly under. Ugh. Certainly didn't expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room.
According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Shamspear's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsume.
I know, it does seem that way, but the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that interlinked.
Oh,
It might seem that two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they're intimately connected.
yes, we have experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if this is another instance?
Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. The Altamont Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shamspear so earnestly. There must be something to it. But then, how's he been managing to steal their gas? Does not appear to have been tampered with. Yeah, that's wrong. I found a hole in your meter. Alright, here you go. Objection! Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it! In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Oh, what?
You're right! You're quite right. There is a little hole there.
Meters aren't supposed to have that.
None of the others do.
In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspear secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, wouldn't be surprised at all. But why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design.
What sort of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is... Ooh. Hold up. I want to save. It's been a bit. Oh, wow. That's been quite a bit since I last saved. Alright, how it's dismantled, how does it differentiate coins? How does the meter tell the difference between different coins?
What do you mean?
Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it?
No, of course not.
So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a 3 penny bit?
Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A 3 bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit.
Clearly feel like that soap has something to do with this. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony without information in case it is pertinent.
As you wish, my lord.
What if... What if he makes coins made of wax using the soap? And then he melts it. And then he puts it back in the soap to remake them. And that's why he has 3 bars of soap. But then he broke one. The meter is designed for coins the exact diameter and thickness of a 3 bit. Nothing else will fit. Tell me more. But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3 pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would, that be true?
Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it a certain extent as well.
I ain't thought of that, though, anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the box when I empty the meter, contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddle as a fine. We live for moments like that, us gasmen do. Live for them. It would seem the gas company has thought of everything. Wahoo! Hooray for gas! Hooray for cash! Altamont all the way!
That's quite enough of that.
Remind me, how big are 3 bits?
About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Yeah, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here? Like asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. Let's get the info and then we'll come back to the size and point out the soap. How can the meter be dismantled?
Dismantled?
Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart?
Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it.
Wahoo! Yeah, nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. I see. The A witness will amend or formal testimony without information in case it's pertinent.
As you wish, my lord. All joints on the meter are welded shut, and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it.
Hold it!
Has anyone ever tried?
Oh, yeah, they've tried, but they have all given up before long.
After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is it welded is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on.
Yeah, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Like asking about how the meter differentiates coins, for example. Yeah, that's the one. How's the meter tell coins apart? What do you mean? We've done this. We just need to get through the dialogue. Trepany. Alright. Pertinent info. He's a thief. Nothing else will fit. I think I should bring this soap to your attention. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Objection!
Nope. Okay. Witness's last name is clearly contradictory. Yeah. No, it's not. It's cool. Just chill. I think we're on the right track. We just need to get there. I think perhaps itself is the contradiction. Yeah. Heed. Oh, these are my lifelines up there. That's cute. Time to rethink. Exact diameter and thickness of a threepenny bit. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on the side, about 2 centimeters across.
Or 3/4 of an inch. Do you think?
We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly.
Yeah, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Details bar soap. There's a 2 centimeter diameter circle depression in the middle of one surface. Okay, so there was a thing there and it's gone now, so something happened to that. Anyway. Exact diameter. Alright, now let's try the soap.
Objection!
There we go. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, by something of a coincidence while we were investigating Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly.
Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What was it?
The item in question is this.
What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar soap!
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say.
Looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. Right there.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean.
Oh! Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there?
That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or, in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit.
Get away!
A little bit silly that you have to examine the soap twice for it to work when presented. I know, right? That was a little silly. It's fine, though. Is anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now, to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded.
Well, I don't believe it.
Oh my god, her entire thing is B. Cute. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes! The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. Yeah, and then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time! This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspear has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet.
But this is all nonsense. The man had been making fake coins. My worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Quite true, Lady Altamont. The absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. Heat? You guys think about heat? Because it keeps it real hot in there and there's a hole in the bottom of the coin thing. You can just put the wax back into the soap bar. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air. Yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it away.
What on earth?
There were remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. That is your assertion, Counsel. The defense will identify those remnants for the court at once. Where on earth can the meter... Or on the meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins disappear be seen?
It's the hole on the bottom.
Look at that. There's this little hole in the bottom. I forgot. I hit the wrong button. Isn't there? It looks as though it was made by somebody who didn't really have the right tools.
It does actually go all the way through the inside, though. It's hard to see that unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right into the part where the meter where the money ends up.
I suppose it's nothing then.
Oh?
Well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you?
No, I suppose not.
But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole here?
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meaty Man, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where he found the soap. Ah, I get it! That's right, the answer, of course, is ice. Oh, it's made of ice. I thought it was gonna be made of wax, but if it's made of ice, then he definitely wouldn't be noticeable. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. I have a question now. I have a question. Did this idiot, Mr. Shamspear, then use that melted water to make more tea because he was like, oh my god, I want more tea. There's still some leaves in this pot. I'll drink tea made out of this shady water that came out of the box and, you know, not possibly thinking that it could be tainted in some way. that what happened? Is that how did he poison himself by accident because he's an idiot?
Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water.
Yup. That's right, madam.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless?
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence.
Sorry.
I want evidence. You're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish. I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she?
Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it.
What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory?
Do I? I do. The water right here. Leaking out from under the meter. I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspear has been stealing gas is this photo right here.
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter.
What is that? Some kind of grubby stain?
Almost certainly it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter.
Ah!
If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspear is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right there next to him is a bar of soap broken in half.
You're right.
Would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat around the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand. Oh, ads are coming. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van Zeeks.
Yeah, I mean to say he was using that fork too.
Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap.
Ah. The bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious! Did it land in his mouth and then he consumed it by accident? Alright, with Van Zeeks throwing his bottle backwards and, like, the silence happening, this is a good place to let the ads play so we are uninterrupted. Alright, so BRB, we will go ahead and let that happen.
Hope you're settling into your solo camping adventure. Don't be disheartened if you can't find a needy ghost immediately. I intentionally picked a safe island that's not too haunted. When you finally find a ghost, try to help it make peace with itself, and when you do it, you'll finally graduate to 2nd degree. Signed, Scoutmaster Blake. Yes, I'll write to you every day, unless I get busy. 1 common log cabin, large potted plant. Okay. Sir? Scoutmaster Blake. Hi. Hi. Hello. Parfait here. You certainly did not send me to a relatively unhaunted island where I might take me a little bit to find a ghost friend. You, in fact, sent me to a very haunted island of bears. Sir? One that curses people and traps them here. So thanks for that.
Is there no formal job training? Do they just throw you into the fire and expect you to swim? No, wait, hold on. Throw you into the ocean and expect you to swim? Sorry, got my things mixed up there. Yes, what is it?
I believe we have found the man to whom the package was intended.
Look, you can swim in fire if you believe. Rude! Ah! I'll be able to spot a squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Running for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Blanc, can you tell me what the contents of these boxes is? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. Here it says... Despair, funny key, scissors, leaf, eyeball, Kamehameha! It is cloth in English. There's lots of fragrant magic water. Means soap. See you tonight. What? Did you guys see that in the mirror?
Perpetual way, Ray?
Wait.
No way.
Perpetual way.
Perpetual way.
No way.
What?
Alright, go ahead and get blasted. Leave while we're in the center.
What are we doing?
How do I leave group?
Why is this happening?
Dawn.
Oh,
Dawn.
Please grab the watch, please.
This is a bannable offense. To my ears. Alright, welcome back. I'm back. Hold on. Gonna unmute the game. There we go. Welcome back, chat. Wait, what the heck? No, the ads are not in progress. What are you saying? So weird. I hope they're not. Start in an hour and 56. Huh? Something's not right here. That's weird. I think Twitch may be having an issue. It's telling me that ads are playing right now, but I'm pretty sure that they're not. Why would they double play? That's so weird. Ads are finished for you. Okay, good. I think Twitch is just buggy, so we'll just carry on. Okay. Van Zeeks threw his wine bottle back. Let's see what's going on. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Lord Van Zeeks? Yeah, common Twitch L. So buggy, just like does weird shit all the time. I was throwing my hand up in despair. Happened to catch my hollowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? That he's a thief and untrustworthy? Well...
That Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable.
Yeah, That's it. That's exactly it. Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make?
Oh, well...
We know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shamspear is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... What? Order, order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, what was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? I mean, we kind of have to raise an objection, right? I don't know for what, but we'll figure it out. Bluffing is the way to go, and it's an Ace Attorney game. It's fine. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But counsel, successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shamspear to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. Hold on. Gotta secure that so it stops being weird. But contrary to what he would have the court believed, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely, Save. Was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? Was there really poison in the tea? 1 or 3? Definitely not number 2. Are we going out a limb and being like, look, there's clearly other people who have been scammed by this man, and they may hate him enough to try to poison him? Alright, let's do this. Was someone else responsible? What if it was somebody else entirely who poisoned the victim? That's your assertion. By all means, tell us who it was. Ah, yes. Well, who was this mysterious third party, counsel? I think it's a little too soon to be naming names, my lord. On the contrary, it's a little too late, much like your defense. Okay, it's fine. We've shown so much that your situation has changed, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear was trying to make more ice coins on the night in question. I really feel like that's a clue here. That it's pointing us towards something else. There's a question that we now need to reconsider. Namely, was the poison in the tea or was it in the ice coin that may have fallen into his mouth somehow? We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best. The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There was no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison. As I said, the situation has changed. Because, in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene, and a particular piece of evidence proves it. A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel, present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Oh. Not the teacups, because they were saying that they checked. Could it be the water in the meter? About the nature of the defendant's tea. What evidence from the scene of the crime? I mean, there is a teapot here. But he said that, like, none of it was there. But there's this water on the floor that could have been the same water as the tea. Okay, would it be the crime scene photo or the gas meter then? Let's just try the meter and see what happens.
Take that!
We're fumbling. What exactly is the piece of evidence supposed to reveal about Mr. Natsume's tea, counsel? Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to the tea in some small way if we dig deep enough. Nope, okay. And you'll be digging for a very long time indeed, my learned friend. Oh. Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense in that absurd assertion. Look. I'm not super clear where we're going with this yet, okay? Ugh, sometimes I wish I could just disappear down a deep chasm to escape his deep sarcasm. And I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? A photo? They said there's not a drop though. Maybe the water stains? The teapot? I hate that there's like still like I'm questioning which one it is.
Take that!
The water. What exactly? Well, no, okay. It's probably the teacups. It's okay, we saved not that long ago.
Take that!
No, it's not the teacups either? Alright, we gotta reload. Wait. Oh.
Objection!
What if it's in the soap?
Objection!
What if it's the soap? Because I was thinking about that, like, what if the dirt, what if the poison was from the ice in the soap that got into his mouth? So we should check the soap, right? Alright,
Take
well,
that!
good gracious. The soap again? Same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice? Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday.
It's more bars of soap.
Soap? What are bars of soap doing? Oh, because the thing in there, the ice in there was colored. It wasn't clear water, so it wasn't really obvious what it was. It must have been tea. Oh, okay. I get it now. What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So, you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. Oh, was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red? No, you mean... That's right, it's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes. I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. Public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water specially to make it. And this is the result! Never will I touch tea again! Never! Ah, yes, I believe there has been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. I would! Oh, that makes sense. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene.
That's right, and we only borrowed one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap, outside of Mr. Shamspeare's window. Extraordinary! Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even one drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contained strychnine at all. Ugh, you smug Nipponese! My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord! Understood! It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and the defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Oh, I thought we were just going to take a break and then go straight back into trial, but we get more investigation time. Okay. Yes, my lord. Whew. By the skin of our teeth, as always. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. To be continued. Yep, we're gonna save. Yeah, we made it. All right. But, hold on. Give me control. Give me control. Okay. And that is where we are going to stop Ace Attorney for the day because I'm almost out of tea myself. So I don't want to keep voicing everything. But that was fun. William Shamspeare is quite the character. He's very, dramatic. We have two very dramatic characters and then a very devoted worker bee. Queen Bee is kind of funny as well. Thought I heard a cat behind me. But I think I am gonna just do some chill Final Fantasy 16. I think that's the plan now. Yeah, they're very good characters. Because FF16 is almost fully voiced, so I have to do very little talking. Yeah. But that's super fun. We will resume Ace Attorney next week. We'll do our investigation, and then, you know, depending on how long that takes, maybe we'll do some trial too. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping by, 21 Snakes. I'm going to go to the break screen and get things set up. So I'll see you next week for more Ace Attorney. Alright, let me go get set up now.
Hope you're settling into your solo camping